Welcome once again to Frequency Solar TV. In today's class, we are going to teach you guys the importance of what? Depth of what? Discharge in your what? Battery banks. So what is the full meaning of this depth of discharge? Is it the full meaning? Okay, the abbreviation is DOD. The full meaning is depth of discharge. So what does it mean? Depth of discharge is what? The amount of what? Energy drawn from what? A battery what? Bank. And depth of discharge is given by the formula 100% minus SOC. Now, can you tell me the meaning of this SOC? Alright, so SOC simply means what? State of what? Charge. So SOC is also measured in percentage, and depth of discharge is also measured in what? Percentage. So SOC simply means how full your battery is, the state of what? Your battery. If it is at 100%, that means your battery is fully charged, 20% is down, 50% half charge. So that is the meaning of what? SOC, state of what? Charge. So, for example, you are given a question to find the depth of discharge of a battery with SOC of what? 50%. So it will now be 100% minus what? 50%. So your depth of discharge will now be what? 50%. So your battery, it means that your battery is consuming 50%. Is drawing 50% energy from that battery bank. That means how many energy is still left? You still have more 50 what percent left untouched. You understand? So let me give you this one to solve. Find the DOD of a battery bank with SOC of 30%. Can you find it? I'm waiting for you. Good. Your SOC is 30%. Find the DOD. Good. Your answer is 70%. You're intelligent. So let's solve it. DOD is equals to 100% minus SOC, right? So our DOD will now be what? 100% minus 70%. What did I even say in the? Is it our SOC is what? Is it 30 or 70? I think what I said was 30%. So it will now be DOD will now be 100 minus 30, 70%. So it means that your battery is consuming what? 70% energy. That you are consuming 70% energy from your what? Battery. So how many energy is left? We are having 30% left untouched. That means you are consuming 70%, which is pretty high. Alright, so this is the definition of what? Depth of what? Discharge. The energy you draw from your battery. Now I want to tell you something. The higher your depth of discharge, the more you are killing the lifespan of your battery. The lower your depth of discharge, the higher your the lifespan of your what? Battery. Because some will tell you that they want their depth of discharge so that their battery will be consuming much energy so that they can be producing much energy for their work. But you don't know that you are killing your what? Battery. So that's why I'm here to educate you on the importance of what? Depth of discharge. That if you set your depth of discharge higher, you will kill your battery more faster. But if you set it medium, your battery will do what? Last for you. I wrote it on the board here. For lead acid battery, the standard depth of discharge is at what? 50%. That's lead acid batteries. All these flooded tubular batteries is at 50 what? Percent maximum. Then for AGM battery, absorbent glass mat battery, and gel battery / gel battery, the depth of discharge is at what? 50 to what? 60% maximum. Now for lithium battery is at 80% to 90% maximum. You know that lithium battery are for big boys what? Battery. The number of cycles is quite big. We are still going to talk about the cycle so that you understand it more better. So what I need you to understand in this depth of discharge is that depth of discharge is what? The energy, the amount of energy that you are taking away from your battery. The state of charge is what? The how full your battery is. You understand? when you must have removed the energy, the remaining is what? The state of what? Charge. For example, if your state of charge is um if your state of charge is at 100%, what will be your DOD? Your DOD is what? 0 what? Percent. You understand? If your state of charge is at 100%, your DOD will now be 100 minus 100, which is what? 0%. So it means that you are not drawing any energy from your what? Battery bank. So that's it. So let me clean this. Now, as you can see, this is a battery chart. When you buy your battery, you will see this chart. They will give you this chart. So this chart will now tell you how to choose your what? Battery what? Bank. Your battery depth of what? Discharge correctly. You understand? So this chart is number of cycles plotted against what? Depth of what? Discharge. As our number of cycles are y and this one is our x, the ordinates and the axis. So at 10%, at 20%, at 30%, 40 to what? 100 what? Percent. We are going to know the cycles, the corresponding what? Cycles at each what? At each interval. So now, if you set your depth of discharge to be at 10%, if you set your depth of discharge to be at 10%, let's take it. 10% is around 1,400, as you can see. 1,400 watts. At 10%, we have what? 1,400 watts cycles. So if you want to check the number of years this will last for you, let me explain what a cycle is. A cycle is when you charge your battery, when your battery is full from at 100% full, and you discharge it completely to what? 0%. You have completed what? A cycle. When your battery is at 100% full, you discharge it to what? 0%. You have completed what? A cycle. But if you discharge it to 50%, that is what? Half a what? Cycle. So he's just trying to tell us that at 10% depth of discharge, at 10% DOD, we have what? 1,000 what? 4 cycles. You understand? So the battery is at what? 1,400 watts cycles. When it's 100%, it drops to 0% till 1,400 times. That means the battery is now what? Will now be what? Weak. It will not function as it was functioning what? Before. So at 10% DOD, we have 1,400 watt cycle. So if you want to determine the number of years this battery will last for you, you are simply going to do what? 1,400 divided by 365. So 1,400 divided by 365 will give you 3.8, approximately approximately 4 years, 3.835 something. So approximately what? 4 years. If they are approximating, if I thought they are approximating you. So it's approximately 4 years. So at 10% DOD, if your battery is drawing 10%, if your DOD is at 10%, that means the energy your battery is drawing is at what? 10%, which is 10% is what? Smaller. That your battery at 10%, you are going to have what? 1,400 cycle. That your battery will do what? Last for you. You see the number of years it will last, because you are drawing small amount of what? Energy from the battery. You understand? So it will last for what? 4 years. Let's check for at 30% DOD. Let's check at 30%. At 30% DOD, let's check the amount of energy it will draw. At 30% DOD, at 30% DOD is at 900 cycle. 30% DOD is at what? 900 watt cycle. So the battery will charge to 100%, discharge to 0%, 900 watts times, which is 900 watts cycle. I told you that one cycle is what? When you have your battery at 100%, you discharge it completely to what? 0%. It's known as what? This thing, what is it called? One cycle. But if you do not discharge it exactly at 0%, it is not yet what 1 cycle. You understand? So at 30% DOD, we have how many cycles? 900 watt cycle. So let's check how long this battery will last for us. 900 divided by 365. Divided by 365. It will last for approximately, I'm just approximating everything, 3 years. It will last for how many years? 3 years approximately, if I thought they're approximating years. So our battery will last for what? 3 years if our DOD is at what? 30%. So let's assume that we are making use of lead acid battery, that the DOD is at 50%. 50% is a 600 watt cycle. So let's check how many years it will last for us. So let's assume we are making use of lead acid battery at 50% DOD. At 50% DOD, the cycle will be what? At 50%, the cycle is what? 600. The cycle is at what? 600. So we are going to have 600 divided by 365. 600 divided by 365 will give us what? Approximately 2 years. So do you see that if you use your lead acid battery well, your flooded/tubular batteries well, that it will last for 2 years for you at 50% what? DOD, which is still good. You know that all these lead acid batteries is more cheaper than lithium life lithium phosphate battery, right? Is cheaper than it. So let's assume that you are using lithium battery. You are using lithium battery at 80% DOD. Let's go to 80% DOD. Oh, let's, because this chart is not drawn for lithium battery, because lithium battery, the cycles of lithium battery is around, some lithium batteries have 4,000 cycles. So just take a look at where this cycle ended. 4,000 watt cycle. So lithium, and this thing is for just for lead acid battery, all these AGM batteries, gel batteries you get. So if it is for lithium battery, no. If you're having 10 kilowatt lithium battery, I think 10 kilowatt lithium battery is around, or is it the 15 kilowatt lithium battery? It's around 6,000 cycles, which will last for like 16 years. 10 kilowatts will last for like, let me say, 11 years. This chart is not for lithium battery. So let's go to AGM. Then let's just say 50%. Okay, we have treated 50%. Then 60%. 60% is around, let's say 450. Let's say 450 cycles at 50%. 450 divided by 365. 450 divided by 365 will give us approximately 1 year. 1 year. So you are going to use the battery for how many years? 1 year. If you are dealing with AGM/gel battery at 60% DOD. You understand? All these things depends on the word cycle. You understand? I'm just using this thing to explain for you the cycle. You understand? It's not that AGM battery, if it's at 60% DOD, that the cycle is 450. No, I'm just using it to explain this drawing for you. This thing I've drawn. You understand? All of them have their words, cycles, respective words, cycles. So now all these things also depends on the words amp hour of the battery. For example, you are using 800 amp hour. You understand? So you are using 800 watts amp hour. So how many this thing ampere hour will it be drawing at, let me say, 50% DOD? At 50% DOD, how many amp hour will it be drawing? If you're having a battery of 800 amp hour at 50% DOD, you set it at 50% DOD, how many amp hour will it be drawing? So it will now be 50% times 800, right? This we cancel this. 8 times 5 is 40, right? so it will be using 400 amp hour. So it will be drawing half the amp hour. It will be drawing half of the what amp hour. So it will be drawing what 400 amp hour at 50% what DOD. You still see that maybe at 60% it will be drawing like, let me say 6 times 8 is what 480 amp hour. So do you see it? So I hope this is clear to you. When you are dealing with what batteries, you need to know what the depth of what discharge. It is very what important. Remember that the higher the depth of discharge, the more you are killing your what battery. But the lower the depth of discharge, the more you are making your battery to last what longer. So thank you for watching, and may God bless you. Bye bye.